I spend a lot of time at our house watching the Discovery Channel with two kids, and one of the shows that always fascinates me at home is Man vs. Wild. It's got a new season coming up in January, but this is the one where you see the guy out there. I don't know how they decide where to put this man or what he decides to eat. But from snakes to lizards to leaves to mushrooms growing under whatever, this guy does it all, and he joins us live this morning. Bear Grylls, star of the Discovery Channel's Man vs. Wild. Bear, how are you doing this morning?
Yeah, all good, thank you. Yeah, surviving, just about.
Well, let me ask you this. Everybody this morning listening has had breakfast or about to have breakfast. What does a guy like you that does eat, snakes for a living have for breakfast on a normal day?
Yeah, well, survival food's never going to be pretty or taste nice, so that's kind of, when I'm out in these places, it tends to be the bad stuff, but the stuff that can save your life if you got nothing else. But when I'm back home, I try and eat really healthy, and I try and train hard, and have lots of good fruit and veg and whole grain things and lots of nuts. I'm kind of a bit almond obsessed. I'm endlessly taking bags of almonds with me, whether it's in the mountains or picking the kids up from school or filming. I always stick a secret bag of almonds in a backpack somewhere. And kind of for me, I always think that nuts are really the ultimate survival food, and especially almonds have got the most protein, most calcium, most fiber of all the nuts. So I'm trying to kind of encourage people just to learn how to snack and eat healthy, and also to train right.
Let's talk a bit about your background. I'm not sure everybody listening this morning knows a little bit about you, but your background goes way back to the United Kingdom Boy Scouts, where you were Chief Scout, recently named that. You served 3 years with the Special Air Service. Now, the Special Air Service, what would you compare that to in the U.S. military?
The British Special Forces, we used to do a lot of the training for your Delta teams and for your Navy SEALs and that sort of stuff. So it's that sort of equivalent. But that was a life gone past for me. I spent 4 years there, and it was a good time, but quite a hard time where you're working in some quite intense places with small groups of people. But it definitely was where I learned a lot of the skills that I use on Man vs. Wild on the show nowadays.
Now, you broke your back in 3 places, according to my notes here, in a parachuting accident over South Africa at one point in time. Was that during your military service?
It was during my military service. I had a free-fall accident where the canopy ripped in two, and I came spiraling down very fast, broke my back in 3 places, and was in hospital in and out for over a year trying to rebuild my movement and my confidence and all that stuff. But sometimes I think in life it takes a real knock to make you realise what you really value and the dreams that you maybe had before but you haven't followed enough. And I kind of definitely came out of that thinking life's given me a second chance, you've got to go for it. And that's very much kind of the mission I'm on at the moment, through Man vs. Wild, but also through a lot of the expeditions I do and a lot of the scout stuff I do. It's just to encourage people to get out there, live their adventures, but also to learn how to prepare for these adventures.
Now, if that had happened to me, I think, and I've skydived twice in my life, and it scared the bejesus out of me both times, but I think had that happened to me, I'd be looking for a desk job. At 23, you were the youngest British climber to complete the summit and descent of Mount Everest as well. I mean, is there anything you haven't done, any challenge you haven't met?
Yeah, the more of these things I do, the more the more of these things I do, the more I feel I need 10 lifetimes to scratch the surface of these dreams. I'm leading expeditions up to the Arctic in a few months. We're, still on the Man vs. Wild road at the moment, so we're off to, just got back from the volcanoes and the jungles of Guatemala. We've been in the jungles of China and desert islands and all this sort of stuff. So it's kind of a busy time at the moment, but, it's a great privilege, and, it's a job I completely love, and it's a job I've been trained for since I was very young. I feel very lucky.
When will we see you here in South Florida in the Everglades?
I've done it. I've done the Everglades. Yeah, that was a kind of a difficult shoot, that one. You're just plagued by mosquitoes and alligators and a lot of cottonmouth snakes and stuff. So, but I love the Everglades. I was in Florida with my family. Actually, went on holiday there a couple of weeks ago in between one of the shoots. I love it there. It's a great place.
Sounds great. We'll look forward to seeing that one. Grylls, the star of Discovery Channel's Man vs. Wild, in the process of filming for the new season, which premieres in January on the Discovery Channel. Somebody wants to find out more about you, Bear, and the show's coming up. Where can they do that online?
Probably the best place is almondboard.com, where I've just done a whole load of survival tips on how to eat healthy, train hard, snack healthy, and prepare for big adventures. So that's probably the best place.
All right. Thanks for the time this morning.